Hello everyone, Doc here from the A3 Footy podcast, and I thought I'd get this one in quick before nominations run out. I think it was by midnight Thursday, so we're on a Wednesday evening, and thought we'd do the 22 under 22 team. It's actually if we go back, the first episode we ever did as the A3 Footy podcast. We all came up with a team. I think we all had to pick a line, and we picked, I think it was about 6-7 players each, and then we all came to a consensus of one. I'm just going to be doing my 22 under 22 team, and look, it's not going to be a long one because we've got things to do. The Matildas are on tonight, so up the Aussies. But for those who are unaware how the 22 under 22 team works, pretty simple really. Players who are, I think, 22 years or younger. I think it's dating back to the 2018 draft now, depending on when they are born. So yeah, just got to pick 6 defenders, 6 midfielders, or 5 midfielders, a ruck, 6 forwards, and a bench. So we've got our defenders here at the moment, and we'll start by picking the players that pick themselves. And I'm looking at this lineup of about 13 here, and there's only probably 2 that I think are real, genuine locks. I want to start with the man who is the red-hot Brownlow favourite, Nick Dacos. It's bloody incredible to think how special this guy is going to be once he hits his prime. For a second-year player to dominate games the way he has dominated this year has just been fantastic. So I've got him there. I'm just going to sip. Hang on. Sip of rum and coke tonight. Feeling pretty good. The next one is Harry Sheezel. I think that's got to be another one that's locked in because he's been able to come in off the halfback, play a position that's been very foreign to him, throughout his juniors. He's a Sandy boy, so I know him very well. Seen a lot of his games. He's a forward by trade, but he's been able to play multitude of positions this year, not just across the half-back line, but he looks so comfortable in that position. So he's going to go there. A guy that we'll go key position. I'd like to try and keep it as real as it gets, in terms of structure. We're going to go tools. We're going to go Sam De Koning, a man who's already won a flag, has been in pretty good touch for Geelong last year. He's been a bit all over the shops, had some injury issues this year. I should also point out as well that I'm probably not taking into account injuries and stuff. I'm thinking about just talent, the body of work they've done. And look, I think Sam De Koning's done more than his share of the workload for the Cats, taking probably the best key forwards every week, and if he's not breaking even, if he's not beating them, he's breaking even with them. So he's going to get the spot. He's going to get a key position spot. I'm tempted to go Nick Murray. I will go Nick Murray because I think he's done more work than Brody Kemp. I like Brody Kemp a lot. I think it was the game against Carlton's game against Melbourne this week, and we did cover it on the episode. Played a ripper game, probably the best that he's played throughout his career, but I think Nick Murray has been going from strength to strength since he was brought into the Crom team a couple of years ago. So he deserves his chocolates there. Who else have we got here? I'm going to go Trent Rivers. This guy's been sort of starting to push his way into the midfield a little bit, but he's been phenomenal as a halfback flanker. When he's called upon to be the third man up, he delivers nearly every time and provides another steady head coming out of that back line of Melbourne. I think he's a lock there for mine. And the last one there, I've been thinking about it. I'd really love to give my boy Nas a bit of props, but I think we'll go Hayden Young for Freo. He's he was in the leadership group this year, which is pretty special. He's only in his, what is it now, fourth season, 2021, 22, yeah, fourth season, and he's starting to push himself, like Rivers, starting to push himself into the midfield now. But I think his work across the half-back line, loves to accumulate possessions, loves to use the ball really well. Probably I'd say in the top 15% of players in terms of kicking efficiency, based on the eye test, really. I mean, I don't have any of the raw numbers on with me, but those are my defenders. We're going to go next, and this is the hardest part of picking any team, and we've done it over the years, is the midfielders. So good luck. This is going to be subjective because I think a lot of people who are watching this will have different midfielders, but as I've said at the start, I'm just going on the body of work, what I've seen, and then base it from there. So let's start with, geez, you could pick a few of these players. I'm going to start with a guy who's been in cracking nick all year long. Definitely deserves a spot in the All-Australian team on the wing. Will be on my one. Errol Goulden from the Swans, and I think I date back to his draft year in 2020. I know we didn't get a lot of exposure, but the games that he did play then and the year before that, 2019, suggested that this kid was on a very good trajectory. And from the minute he stepped foot in the doors at Sydney, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So he gets a spot there. Going to go with another guy who should be a lock in there, Tom Green. Green as we like to call him. Don't ask why, it's a very stupid in-joke that we've made here at A3, but Green gets a spot. He's just slowly turning into one of those generational midfielders that we see in Victoria, that we see in Queensland, the likes of Lachie Neale, that we see in, at almost anywhere, really. I think this guy's going to be the next big thing, if he isn't already, but that's already, he's already churning out some great things. I'm going to go next with a guy that I really love. Caleb Sarong was appointed vice-captain of Freo this year and has been in some really good touch. Just another guy that should be closing in on a spot on the 22. I don't think he'll get there this year in the All-Australian team, but he should at least get to the 40, no questions asked. I'm going to go with a guy next who deserves his plaudits because we don't get a lot of exposure from the Suns here in Victoria, we don't get a lot of exposure of the Suns team here in Victoria, but Noah Anderson has been is a fantastic player. He's just so smooth, very efficient usually, and almost, I don't want to say rarely lets you down. I think probably, like, I've got in my Supercoach team, there's a couple of games there that did record small scores for me, but he's been in ripping touch, so can't really dispute with that. It leaves me with quite a few options here. I would love to get some of these guys in. Maybe they get a spot on the bench. I'm going to go a guy who just recently tore up my doggies, a new one. He's been, in the eyes of many, flying under the radar. I did read an article during, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, saying that John Newcombe should be in All-Australian discussions, which, look, he may not be this year. I think there's other players that are better than him, but if he continues to play the way that he played against the Dogs on Sunday, John Newcombe has to be in here. Yeah, look, when he came to the AFL a couple of years ago, he was this sort of hit hard, ask questions later sort of bloke. I think his disposals, his ability to gather disposal and use it sort of questioned, but no doubt his intent, when he doesn't have the football. But since then, he's just been on a steady rise here and is really developing himself into a great two-way midfielder. Can still hurt people with the tackles and the pressure acts, but his ability now to spread and go on the outside is just absolutely incredible. And I think it's just been a joy just to sort of watch him develop and rise through the ranks and becoming. He's just on that cusp of being the elite midfielders. He's just played his 50th game. Can't wait to see what the next 50 brings for him, and there's no doubt that he's going to be a 250 game plus player if he stays fit. A few players here that are stiff to miss out. We love the Chad. Will Day's been in career best form. Will Ashcroft has been just completely phenomenal player before going out the ACL. Matt Rao, very bullocking midfielder, and as much as Bailey Smith has been putrid the last 12 months, he still has been quite a good player over the last 4 years. So, and also Horn Francis, what a coming of age year he's had this year for Port. The ruck, well, look, this is the thing that every time we do the ruck in the 22 under 22, there's always one really good option, and then there's like a whole bunch of stinkers. If anyone picks Samson Ryan, then you just do not know a thing about football. Scratch him off your list straight away. I love Filthy Phil, but I think that the clear-cut choice is Luke Jackson. Fantastic. It's funny thinking that at the start of the year everyone was criticizing Luke Jackson for taking on a big contract and not doing much with it, but I think since then a lot of people have shut up, and this is what I enjoy the most about Luke Jackson. When he gets thrusted into the number one ruck, he just goes after the football. He's so athletic, he's so agile, he almost possesses himself as a legitimate midfielder. a 200 plus centimetre legitimate midfielder. And it's crazy to think that already in four seasons he's a premiership player. He's building on what's already a well-advanced craft. You know, he can ruck, but he can also move around the ground, play a multitude of positions. He's been playing a little bit of midfielder this year, playing a little bit of a key forward. He's really coming into his own, and that's why I think he deserves this spot. So we get to the forward line now, and some options here. let's not beat around the bush. There are some options. We're gonna start with. We'll go with some tools, because I think there are some blokes here that do deserve their spot, and I think the first choice here is Jamarra Ugle-Hagan. You know, 3 seasons in, this guy is already forging out to a monster career. You know, the comparisons with Buddy, I still think they're unacceptable, because there's only one Buddy Franklin. There's only going to be one Jamarra Ugle-Hagan, and the way that he's been on this rise has been something special, and particularly as a Dogs fan. His leading patterns are elite. His marking hands are elite. He brushes up on his goal kicking. He becomes a 50-60 goal forward in the next couple of years. Next one, Mitchy Owens. Love what he's doing at the Saints at the moment. This kid's another star in waiting. 2021 prospect, I think he is. So this is his second season, and he's marking above his head really well. His movement, his leading patterns are special. He's got all the tools. Let's go. We'll go Cozzy Pickett here. Yeah, look, do I like him? Do I personally like him? Probably not. But he does attack the contest really hard. He does possess a little bit of flair, and he's got really good talent at ground level as well. So you need those sort of small forwards buzzing around. I like what he does. Another guy that I really like watching is Bo McCreary, the cowboy, as Kat might say. He's been... I've enjoyed watching him because he's quick, because he's a great pressure player, and over the last 12 months, I think he's starting to hit the scoreboard a little bit more consistently, and I think that's not only what's good for Collingwood, but it's also good for footy. So that's gonna happen there. Oh geez, who else we gonna? Let's have an extra key forward. I really wanted to put Van Rooyen in there, but I'm gonna put Jai Amos in there instead, because a guy who's in his second year as well, he's on track to kick 40 if he hasn't kicked it already, but he's on track to already averaging 2 goals per game in a side that isn't performing, and that alone just speaks volumes about his ceiling and where he's going to be as an AFL player in 5 years' time. So he's a good one there. Excuse me. Lastly, I'm going to go with Shelley. He's had his really, really poor moments this year, but over the last 2 years, I think the good still outweighs the bad. He's going to be a future All-Australian. He's a future 45 goal kicker, 45 goal a season kicker. He's just got a lot of flash and a lot of flair, and he's a bit of a showman too, and I really, really like that. I'm sorry to Cody Waitman as a Dogs fan. I do love what he does, but sometimes he can go missing a lot, and it really hurts the team a lot, and it really hurts the team. So he may not get into the bench. So 4 spots still available. I'm gonna try and spread them out as much as I can. Let's start with we'll go with Will Ashcroft. I think it's a bit hard to overlook him, bung knee and all. He in a Brisbane who are clearly in the top 4 sides in the competition. The fact that he can just swoop in and really just make it look effortless at times is incredible. So he gets a spot on the bench. Who else are we going to have on the bench here? I will put Nass in there. I think his second season has been a tremendous rise. We all know he's a great outside player, and Ross Lyon has really catered to those strengths across half back. Played a little bit of wing as well this year for the Saints, and it's only been pretty good things for him. I need a little bit of forward power in this team. Don't know who I'm gonna pick though. I'll go Jason Horne-Francis just because I think he's a great player when you push him forward. He's got great strength, and it's going to be amazing to see this guy flourish in 5 years' time. You know, he was stuttering a fair bit at North Melbourne last year, and yeah, look, say what you want about the exit, very messy from both sides of the ledger. But I think since coming back home to Port Adelaide, he's just been thriving, and it'll be amazing to watch him hone his craft in 5 years' time. He's going to be a fantastic player. Which opens up the last spot in this team, and let's see, I've got two midfielders, one that can play forward as well. I'm going to go with a guy who has played a little bit of back, but he's also capable of pushing into the midfield, and that's Will Day. He's been, yeah, look, I remember when we did the draft episode a couple of years ago, and I had a look at Will Day's tape. I wasn't impressed. I thought this kid was pretty spindly. I wasn't sure about how he'd hold up in a senior environment, but he has exceeded expectations and then some. He's not only is he able to create off a half-back line, but now he's been able to push into the midfield, win his fair share of contested ball, not afraid to put his body in the way either, and that goes a long way in this competition. So for mine, that's the bench, and there are some very, very stiff people here. I mean, I would have loved Chad Warner, get him in there, but I think other players sort of pushed him out. Matty Rowles is in a similar boat. Nick Martin, been very impressed with his work at the Essendon Football Club. Miles Bergman, also very, very good, but no, but that's the team. Look, I'm half expecting there'll be someone out there who has a better team, but let me know what you think in the comments. If you like, make sure you subscribe. We're going to select a captain as well, so don't worry. We're going to pick a captain. I will go Caleb Sarong, only because he's vice captain at Freo, and that's it. Vice captain, I'm just going to put Jamara because he's my son. So yes. So on that, we'll end it there. Appreciate you coming on, watching this content. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you listen to us on the A3 Footy podcast on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We do have our bonus subscriber content as well. It's $2.99 per month, so very little money. It's, you know, far cheaper than a coffee. Might not wake you up as muchly as a coffee does, but we'll still provide good entertainment for you, good, hopefully some football insight and knowledge as well. But until next time, I've been Alex Doherty, and take care.